gonna play a game called Frostbite. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know anything about the dev. I just know I stumbled across, well, let me back up a little bit. Was kind of, meandering around Pinterest for art of some of my favorite characters. And I stumbled across this picture right here. Now I was hoping and praying that that young man that was bottoming and just seemingly enjoying himself with that other, what appears to be a Samoan man on top of him, was hoping that was a grown of age man in this picture. Kind of reminded me of myself in a sense when I'm in that same position. So I did a little digging and I found that it's from in a visual novel game called Frostbite. This game is hard to find. I'm not sure what that's about. You can't just Google Frostbite game and the dev's name being John Doe and have it populate for some reason. You have to kind of dig, which I'm not sure why, because I get that the game it's a mature game, so we're gonna get that warning out the way right now. This is allegedly a mature game. I'm not sure what's gonna be in this game and what I can show and what I can't show and what I'm gonna have to censor, but it's an 18 plus game. But I've played an abundance of 18 plus games and I can still find them on the surface web. So I'm not sure what that's about. Might have to do some digging into the lore on the dev and the game and whatnot. But nonetheless, we're just going to get right into it. They already know who I am. I don't need no warning. Frostbite. And we are actually going to play a new game. I wish I could mute the music, but it's not allowing me to do such. It's pretty loud, might I add. Okay, so it's snowing. Sliding into the soft driver's seat, you listen to the gentle rumble of your car as you let the engine warm up, revving it ever so often in an attempt to rush the process. As you sat idly, you noticed something in the passenger seat. From the looks of it, it was your driver's ID. It must have fallen out of your pocket the last time you drove. You quickly leaned over to snatch it up, your eyes scanning over the name before you tucked it away. Okay, so this is apparently us right here. Y'all already know who the fuck I am about to be. Y'all already know. NordVPN. I really need to watch where I keep this thing. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. You scattered brain son of a bitch. The heater slowly began to blow hot air, signaling a warm enough engine. Gently pressing your foot to the pedal, you carefully pulled out of the road. Your fingers danced over the car's radio buttons. We were just a whimsical motherfucker, flipping quickly through the channels. It seemed country music was pretty popular around these parts. What? Country? Hell no. Sighing, you let your hand drop back down to fidget with the side of the steering wheel. We're very fidgety as well, as you tried to focus on the slowly disappearing road ahead of you. Street signs quickly being obscured by the gradual increasing snowfall. Ugh, the snow is getting ridiculous. We're going to end up stranded at this rate, and I don't know if Jax is stocked up beforehand. He seemed a little flighty. Who's Jax? You thought for a bit longer what to do. You hadn't known your soon-to-be roommate long, so you had no idea how reliable he'd be in the situation. We moved in with a motherfucker we didn't know that well? What the fuck? When you picked up the room you wanted at, you weren't prepared for his place to be in the middle of absolute nowhere. You found a roommate off Craigslist, and what the fuck? So you were happy he wasn't asking for a ton of rent money. He's gonna take your ass in the middle of the night, and getting away from the city would be a nice break. We gotta be a man. I mean, we have to be playing as a man. You sighed as you decided you would have to make a stop at the store for supplies. It was the only logical solution at this point. Carefully unclipping the glove box, you yanked an old road map out and awkwardly unfolded it, my bad, on the seat next to you, glancing back and forth from the map to the road. We don't have a phone. He had to use an actual fucking paper map. You didn't realize how fast you were going while you were distracted, and whoa, we just crashed. You quickly grabbed onto the steering wheel, slowly pumping the brakes as gently as possible as you rolled to a stop sign on the side of the road. Did we crash? The ice had gotten so bad already you began to worry if you'd even make it home. Glancing back over the map now that you were safely at a stop, you scanned it for any signs of a store on the way. Your eyes lit up the moment you saw the generic grocery store just up the road on the map. That's where you were heading, you thought, as you steeled yourself and slowly pulled away from the shoulder of the road and back onto the street. How did we crash? We were only going like 25 miles an hour. Just as you passed through a tunnel of thick trees, you spot a beacon in the distance lighting up the otherwise inky forest. You can't believe your luck that a store be open this late at night, especially in the middle of nowhere like this. I'm very scared of the music being too loud in this video, so I had to quickly mute the music on OBS. So unfortunately, there's not going to be any music in this video. Y'all have to pardon me for my very bottom tier quality. It's just temporary. Carefully turning into the parking lot from the slick road, you pulled into a parking space closest to the door. It looks like there's only 2 cars parked here aside from you. It is the people that work there. You take note of the dirty blue pickup truck parked in front. It looks old and well loved. The paint chip. Why are we roasting this man's car? Why do we give a fuck what his car looks like? It's not our shit. Your eyes move down to the rear end and notice the dark brown stains leaking from beneath the tailgate. You chalk it up to belonging to a seasoned hunter. Scanning the rest of the parking lot, you notice the other car is parked off to the side of the building at the end of the lot. Some cheap greens. Nerve of us to roast somebody's car when we had to fucking get a roommate off Craigslist. The nerve of us. You rub your arms as the cold chills finally get to you, and you take it as a sign to stop lingering and get your ass inside the fucking store already. The automatic doors slide open with stained obedience, and you notice the hours sign on the door has been haphazardly scribbled out with a Sharpie. Guess they make their own hours here. Works for you. Okay, it's a small business. Of course they get to make their own hours. Okay, so we're in the store now. His nose is really big. As you walk into the store, you notice it's not much warmer than outside. Disappointing, but at least there's no wind. You tighten your coat up a bit more around your shoulders and take a look around. It's a pretty normal store, exactly what you'd expect for a place that's so out of the way. The aisles look well stocked enough for you to get everything you need for the next few days. And it looks like they even have a toiletry section. Well, no shit, it is a store. The last thing you notice is the bored-looking cashier who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, and you can't blame him. He's just as bundled up, even though he looks like he's more used to this weather than you. He shifts absent-mindedly, and you catch a glimpse of his name tag enough to read, and you notice his name is Vic. You consider what it's short for. Why are we making assumptions? Okay, Vic is clearly short for Victor. Hey, slack-jawed tourist. If you're gonna just stand there all night, I can give you my job. Why does this bitch have an attitude with us? Why do you have an attitude with me, sir? Like I won't come across that counter on you. His curt rudeness catches you off guard. Fuck all of that. Go confront him and tell him about himself. And you hesitate to respond, but he doesn't really seem like the type to care if you talk back anyway as you watch him slowly flipping through the pages of his magazine. Bitch, where is your boss? Where is your manager? You can talk to him a little more, though it might be faster to know where things are at this store. Talk to Vic some more. Do we want to talk to him or do we want to just leave him alone? I don't know. Let's see if he even gives a fuck to answer us. The guy seemed pretty cantankerous, but maybe he was just bored and overworked. It might be nice for him to actually talk to someone. You're pretty optimistic. You slowly walked over to the counter and stood in front of him. Then the shadow obscuring his reading material prompted him to actually look at you. A guy just can't read a hustler in a piece, can he? He's reading a hustler in public at work? Now, if you don't know what a hustler is, I collect them. I collect a lot of vintage, spicy magazines, but Hustler is it's a porn magazine, and he's reading that in public on the clock. Well, what do you want that it's so damn important? My bad, I didn't mean to interrupt your little goon session while you're at the counter. You're starting to think you misjudged his character and that maybe this guy was just an asshole because he is. Are you alone here? How old are you? Where's the meat department? Leave him alone. Ask him if he's alone. Freak his ass out a little bit. Are you working here all alone? Seems kind of dangerous not to sound like a creep. Oh, you absolutely do. Though I don't expect much from weirdos that come in here 20 minutes before closing time. How the fuck was I supposed to know you guys were about to close? You felt a pang of guilt. Fuck all of that. It's his job. This is his job. You guys are not closed. This is his job. He shouldn't have an attitude with you. Realizing you came in so close before closing, normally you would have never done something so inconsiderate, but these weren't exactly normal circumstances. See, he's passing prejudgment on us. It's whatever. I'm kind of used to it at this point. Believe it or not, these shitty little stores get a lot of activity in the summer. It's a good tourist location, I guess. I actually hate traveling or going to tourist destinations. I've seen what I need to see, so I'm good. Well, for him to be fucking annoyed at us, he sure is yapping his ass off to us. To answer your earlier asinine question, no, I'm not alone as much as I wish I was. You're gooning to a Hustler magazine with another coworker here? The fuck you got going on? I'm here with the stupid hot butcher in the back. That guy drives me up the wall with all his stupid bulging muscles and his dumbass pretty hair. So, is he bisexual? Because Hustler it's naked bitches in Hustler, but he also likes the butcher? Is the butcher a woman? Well, he did say he. Maybe they're like non-binary. He's not even from around here either. He's some moronic redneck who just waltzed right in and was handed a job for being attractive. He's handsome. I didn't say that. You really did. You can tell you weren't going to get any more information about this from here on. Maybe you can ask him something else, or maybe you should leave this guy alone. No, I want to keep asking questions. Let's find out how old this guy is. How old are you? I'm sorry if that's intrusive, but you can't be much older than me, right? Isn't it a little dangerous to work so late? Wow, look at the Good Samaritan. You want points for being thoughtful or something? I'm just trying to have a conversation. God, this guy is a dick. Don't worry, I can take care of myself. And for the record, I'm a lot older than you. That's why you're so fucking miserable because you work at the fucking store. How old's the guy in the back? 35. Ooh, age gap. Age gap. That didn't seem right. The guy in front of you looked barely 25. How could he be almost above 40? From the looks of him, it didn't look like he was going to talk anymore about this topic anymore. Maybe you can ask him something else, or maybe you should leave him alone. Okay, I'm gonna ask him one more fucking question. You figured you might as well ask him where the meat is. It's better than wandering around aimlessly, and you'd be able to leave faster if you knew where everything is. Can you direct me to the meat department then? I'll be out of your hair if I knew where it was. Well, I can direct you to my meat department. It's right downstairs. What is this guy on? He just hated me. Now he wants me to blow him. You were taken aback by the sudden crude joke that you weren't quite sure what to say. This is sexual harassment. Where is your manager once again? At least this was the first time you saw this guy crack a smile, even if it was a little nasty fucking smirk. His smile faded quickly as if it appeared, and he was already back to frowning dejectively. Where do you think it is? It's in the back like most meat departments in most grocery stores. That's actually not fucking true. I've been in many a grocery store, many a country redneck grocery store too. Sometimes it's at the front, sometimes it's at the side, and then yeah, sometimes it's at the back, but like to just assume that I would know that. You have been inside a grocery store before, right? If not, I can explain what they are. You see, they're these horrible little prisons that they trap hapless morons like myself in for all of eternity, so I can deal with idiots like you who don't know where the meat department is. What is this guy's problem? My God. What a wonderful existence, right? Buddy, this mindset you have is probably why you are in the predicament that you're in right now and why you're so unhappy. You have caused your downfall. You started to regret talking to him. If it probably was the best option, leave him alone and finish your shopping. Yeah, fuck this guy. You decide it's probably time to leave the poor guy alone. He clearly got some problems that you don't have time to deal with. Exactly. Fuck this guy. Well, thanks for your time, Vic. Don't thank that motherfucker. Like, don't feel sorry either. Thanks for like talking to me or whatever. Punch the shit out of him. If this was me, I would have slapped the shit out of him by now. You were shocked for a moment at his sudden change in demeanor. He actually didn't look as gruff like you thought. And you realize maybe he wasn't so bad. Now fuck all of that. He's just like he feels bad that we kind of showed him humanity. Oh, of course, man. I do hope you get a break soon. My name is NordVPN, by the way. Cool. Fuck him. Fuck all that. Let him get his little goon session back in. And with that, he turned on his heel and returned back to his stagnant spot at the counter, immediately fumbling through the well-worn porno mag. See, like I told you guys, Hustler is a porno mag. I have many of them. You cracked a slight smile at him before heading down the aisles? Why would you smirk at that bitch? Okay, so here's the meat. You quickly make your way through the labyrinth of aisles. The store is quaint and mostly has off-brand products that you've never heard of before. You grab a stray handbasket that's been left on the floor and you start mindlessly tossing things inside. We really got it like that. I mean, we were calling everyone's car cheap and dirty outside. You don't know if you're going to be snowed in or if you are, how long you'll be, but it's better to be safe than sorry. This is why I could never live up north. I've lived in the south my whole fucking life. I've never had to deal with like snow or like being snowed in like this. I could never live up north. Finally, making your way to the end of the aisle, you can see the red glow of fresh meats under the display freezer light. You catch a few glimpses of someone moving back and forth and wonder if he's the butcher. Where's this alleged hot, sexy butcher that boy spoke of? As you approach the butcher counter, you notice the butcher is missing now. You could have sworn you saw someone shifting around back there. You ring the little bell on the countertop. Nothing. Oh, well, it's not like you needed anything cut for you anyway. There's a huge selection of cuts right in front of you. You bend over and study the meat through the cellophane packaging. You've never seen meat this fresh before. The marbling is unique, too, and bright cherry red color feels as if it's drawing you in. There's so much too. The open freezer is almost spilling over with packages of all different cuts, the names of which have been handwritten on each sloppy script. You can't imagine that such a small town has this much demand for meat. Like what you see, honey. This is him. He's not cute at all. You jump at the sudden vocalization and take a step back as you take in the visage of the man before you. He's big, real big. You feel intimidated immediately, but can feel your cheeks heat up as your eyes drift down to his big, muscular arms. He definitely works out. I can't tell if he's muscly or if he's like a bear, if I'm being honest. He looks more like a bear. He also looks pretty Samoan, might I add. This looks like one of my uncles. You also notice all the scars riding his thick, strong arms. You can't help but wonder where they came from, but you know it'd be too rude to just ask. And not really. I mean, it depends on the person. As if reading your mind, the man chimes up. Taking in the good, sweetheart. Don't be nervous. I know I look big and scary, but I promise I'm just as gentle as a lamb. So are we. What is the gender of our character? I'm really intrigued. I work outdoors a lot, you see. Get scratched up mighty fierce out there. You could tell from the tone of his voice and the smoothness of his words that he was the type to call anyone sweetheart or honey because he was a hoe, regardless of gender or presentation. He was a triple, bisexual, trisexual hoe at that. The man flexes his biceps to insinuate what he's saying, eliciting you to glance away embarrassed for a moment. You could tell from the glint in his violet eyes that he knew he was flustering you and he was loving it. Might as well jump straight to the formalities. I'm Tate Frost. You ain't from around here, are you? I think I'd remember a cute little morsel like you. Ooh. You know, if this was me, I would lie because I don't like to tell strangers all my business, but I feel like it'll be a little interesting if we tell him the truth. You don't really have a reason to lie. He seems nice and he's just trying to make conversation. Quite a stark contrast to Vic up front. Yes, sir. I actually just moved here. It's quite a change for me. I haven't really gotten used to it. The quaintness of all this. I'm NordVPN, by the way. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Tate Frost. He called us cute. If you want, I can help you get used to the quaintness round here. I know I can be awfully lonely in these woods. Ain't much for miles and all. I could definitely keep you warm all night if you wanted. You can feel the blush on your cheeks intensify at his forwardness. Part of you wanted it. You know, this is me whenever I go to the fucking store. This is exactly how people start talking to me. The random workers at the store will flirt their ass off with me and they don't even know me. Don't even know if I'm actually a woman. The least he could do was buy you dinner first. No, ask him if he could pay for your shit. So, what's a cute little thing like you doing out here so late anyway? You glance behind you towards the front doors of the store, remembering how bad the snow was getting. I'm just stocking up before the snowstorm. Aren't you worried you'll get snowed in here or anything? It's coming down pretty hard and the roads won't be safe for long. We almost fucking crashed on our way here. Nah, I ain't worried. I was planning on sleeping here anyways. Talking a big game, but don't even got somewhere to sleep. Got a lot of work around the store I gotta do. These pigs won't butcher themselves. Tate chuckled to himself, as if that had been a joke. You wonder for a moment if he meant live or dead pigs were back there. You felt a little silly thinking a grocery store butcher had livestock in the back. Then you realized the other things he had said. Wait, you're really planning on staying here for the night? What if you get snowed in for longer than just a night? Is that really safe? I mean, well, if you're in a fucking store with supplies, I'm pretty sure you'd be safe. God damn, you're cute. How am I ever gonna let you get away? Awfully sweet of you to care, honey. But I'm a big, strong guy. Ain't no one messed with me that left totally intact. Ain't nothing to concern yourself over, sweetheart. You best be looking after yourself instead. I sure wouldn't want nothing slightly to befall you. Be a damn shame messing up that pretty face. Tate's voice dripped with a cold yet confident malice that felt as if he was drawing you in, making you more and more curious just what this man is capable of. You weren't totally sure if you wanted to find out. I'm uncomfortable as fuck, if I'm being honest, but you couldn't deny he was certainly interesting. In your gut, you could sense something was off, something was dangerous. But his confidence and warm voice drew you in. You considered giving him your phone number. So we do have a phone. That would probably be a mistake. You had always been a bit cautious, and you're pretty sure the grocery store is the closest one to your new home. It'd be best to get to know him a little better, maybe chat with him whenever you bought groceries. You think about something, my Shaw? You looking awfully deep in thought. I'm trying to think about how to get the fuck away from you. Tate's husky voice snapped you back to reality, and you gathered your thoughts along with your basket of groceries. It was getting late, and you still had a 20-minute drive home. The nearest grocery fucking store to our house is 20 minutes out. Though with the ice, it'll probably take 40. Oh, right. Sorry. I better get moving. I totally forgot about the snowstorm and everything. But, I'll be back. I don't live too far from here, and I'd love to maybe get to know you better. What was that thing you said? Shaw? Yeah, I've never heard that shit either, and I'm from the South. I'm guessing that's like some sort of slang for friend, right? My God, you're adorable. You know that? I really could just eat you up. Ooh. Oh, he's Cajun. I knew he was from the South. He looks Cajun. No, honey, Shaw is essentially Cajun for sweetheart. Or for me. Something I could just sink my teeth into. Oh, he's getting freaky with us. He just offered us a head at the grocery store. It may have been freezing in this grocery store, but you can no longer tell with how hot your body felt. He's ugly as fuck. I don't know why we feel like this. A wave of embarrassment mixed with what fucking word is that? Never seen that shit before. Shyness surging through your body. This guy was coming on strong, really strong, but part of you kind of liked it because we are a fucking freak. You're Cajun. I guess that explains your accent. How long have you been here? You don't seem like the type to move up to New England. We're all the way in fucking New England. So we're in like Massachusetts and shit. It's pretty cold compared to down south and all. Weren't you supposed to be leaving? Can't get enough of me, huh? I ain't complaining. It's a nice breath of fresh air compared to the upper class rich folk coming in here. Trying to get away from it all, but can't handle nothing less than a fancy ass timeshare. I guess I got Vic, but I'm sure you saw how much of a barrel of laughs that guy is. He ain't from around here neither, but he do like to divulge too much info about himself, it seems. Yeah, he's up there gooning with a hustler, and y'all are just allowing that shit. You chuckled gently under your breath as you listened to Tate banter on. You did need to be leaving, but what's a few more minutes? You guessed right through my little rabbit. I come in here all the way from down south, the old boot state, a real small town in bumfuck nowhere, Louisiana. You know, I actually have family in Louisiana too. He's Cajun, so he's from like Baton Rouge. My family is from New Orleans. Lived with mama till I was 18. Got my high school sweetheart. Tate's expression and whole demeanor suddenly shifted as his sentence drifted off. You wondered if he brought up a sore subject before he continued as if nothing happened. So he had a girlfriend, but what happened to her? Well, what's done is done. She's dead. His bitch died. Oh, to me anyways. Besides, I've been having more fun just traveling the country. Ain't been back home in a long time. I never stay in a place for too long. Got a pretty nice deal on a trailer near here that don't ask questions. I've always had a pretty good luck and all. I'm feeling pretty lucky tonight after getting to meet you and all. Ooh. You smile up at him and shift your feet slightly. The more you talk with him, the more drawn you feel. Why? And you know if you don't stop now, you might just be spending the night with him. Reaching towards the ample selection of meats, you toss a few more of the reddest cuts you see into your basket. You still can't believe how beautiful all these cuts are, and you're excited to try them for dinner. You open your mouth to bid him farewell, but he cuts you off. Aha, you best begin to move on now. I'll never let you go if you stay any longer. Standing up straight again, you make eye contact with the man, and you hope to get to call your friend and lift your basket up for him to see the gesture of a farewell. I am kind of drunk right now, you guys, so you gotta pardon my reading skills. You turn on your heel to head to checkout, unable to hide your smile as you leave, all snickering and giggling and shit. As you walk down the aisle grabbing some random necessities, you can't help but think about Tate. He's so mysterious yet charming. He's probably a Scorpio. And well, you can't get his physique out your mind either. You're really hoping something more will come from this, but you aren't exactly looking for a relationship. But who knows where this could lead? You're so preoccupied in your thoughts, you hardly notice your basket is now totally full, and the last item you grab clatters loudly onto the floor. You curse a little under your breath as you reach down to grab it, a bit embarrassed that you let your mind wander for so long on tape. I guess that's your sign to leave at least. You make your way up to the register and place your basket on the counter. You glance around to the front of the store, but Vic doesn't seem to be anywhere around. Maybe he already took off. Were you really talking to Tate for that long? You walk over to the counter and look around. You notice the magazine he was reading is tossed haphazardly on the floor by a small black stool. Something about this doesn't feel right, and you try to peer towards the back of the store where you last saw Tate. It looks empty. Maybe he went back into the freezer? Hello? Vic? Tate? I'm ready to check out. I would just walk out the fucking store at this point since they want to be unprofessional. Something didn't feel right. It felt as though you were being watched, but you know there's only two people in the store. That is, if Vic didn't up and leave. Well, there'd still be two people in the store, you and Tate. You can't shake this nervous feeling and just begin bagging your items yourself. I'm gonna leave the money on the counter, okay? And my phone number in case you need to contact me if it's not the right amount. You reach over the counter and rip off a little receipt paper, grab a pen, quickly jotting down your info, tossing some money inside of it. You're pretty sure you added up all your groceries and left a little extra just in case. You toss the last of your items into a plastic bag and head over to the exit as fast as you can. You're not sure why, but you feel like you need to get out of here now. You stand in front of the door, gripping your shopping bag tightly. You're not sure why you're so nervous, but something in the pit of your stomach is screaming to run. You wave your hand in front of the sensor to no avail. The door doesn't want to open. You remember it was pretty creaky when you came in, but maybe it's just stuck. Setting your bag down, you try to get a grip between the doors, pushing them in opposite directions as hard as you can, but the door doesn't budge. You realize it must be locked, but why would it be? You were just talking to Tate. They couldn't have totally closed the store with you inside, right? You all right, Nord? You whirl around quickly, your eyes greeted with a similar sight as you try to slow your breathing. You were panicking, but you weren't sure why. There was a thick feeling in the air. There was a thick feeling in the air. It almost felt like you were an animal being hunted. Hey, now you're awfully jumpy. Did something happen? You scared me a little. Hee hee. Oh, did I? I feel a little ridiculous about it now. I couldn't find Vic and the door won't seem to open. I guess I just spooked myself like a dumbass. Without responding, Tate sauntered casually over to the automatic doors, looking them up and down before grabbing the center with both hands and tried to pry them apart. You couldn't tell how hard he was trying, but a guy as big as Tate should be able to tear those doors right off the hinges. He tried for a few more seconds before huffing and walking back over. They don't got a key? Like, you mean to tell me they don't got a key or anything? Well, shit, honey. Those bitches really are stuck, ain't they? Them bitches is crazy. Tate seemed genuine, but something about it was off and you couldn't place it. Maybe he didn't want to break them? So you mean to tell me they don't have a key or there's supposed to be an automatic thing you press to open the doors? Guess old Vic got tired of waiting on my ass to clock out, so he took off early. Probably need to fire that bitch. Well, I got a few things that could help in the back. I'll be right back, honey. Ooh, what is he gonna go get? Before you could interject, Tate was already strolling back towards his section once again. You sighed and looked around the store. There were still a few things nagging at you about the situation. Did Vic really take off knowing you were still in the store? His register looks like it was still on, too, and you remembered his magazine thrown on the floor. As you sat and wondered, you noticed it was taking Tate an awfully long time to come back. Maybe you should go check on him. Ooh, should we go check on him? I feel like it'd be a little interesting if we did. He was taking way too long and you were starting to worry. You glanced around the area one more time before heading towards the aisles to the freezers. Still no sign of Tate. You hope nothing bad happened to him. There was still an eerie feeling you couldn't quite shake. Tate, where are you? You called out and waited. No response. You were really starting to worry now. You didn't even notice the heavy footsteps behind you over the sound of your own heartbeat. Oh, poor little rabbit. Did you miss me that much? Did he always have blood on his apron, or is that new? You whipped around to see Tate standing right behind you, his chest almost touching you as he loomed down over you. Oh my god, I thought something bad happened to you. You have to stop sneaking up on me like this. Oh, Sha, you were worried about little old me? How sweet. You ain't got worry about none. Big Daddy Wolf can protect himself, honey. Tate had moved slightly closer to you, boxing you in against the aisle. What? I'd start looking for a weapon at this point. He was so close you could smell him, the scent of tobacco smoke and cheap whiskey so strong it made your nose crinkle. He's showing up to this whole drunk. There was something else about his smell you couldn't quite place, something almost metallic. Well, he's a butcher, so he deals with blood, a lot of animal blood every day. Oh, NordVPN, you seem mighty on edge. I get it. Stores can be quite spooky after hours, huh? Bullshit, that's when I go to the store at night. He moved his hand to your sides, resting them on either side of you against the aisle. The consent? Where was the consent at? Your fight or flight reflexes screaming in your head as the huge man trapped you like an animal. You weren't sure if you should stop him or not. His strong, musky smell combined with your fear was making you lightheaded as you stared into his eyes. Hey, now it's all right. Just relax. You want me to stop or... Oh, Tate suddenly grabbed you under your ass and hoisted you up, your butt pressing against various items on the shelf behind you, knocking many of them down with a clatter. Oh my god, no consent. This one ugly ass nigga, y'all don't know about this. My uncle tripping. His body pressed against you, instantly warmed you as you let him pin you against the shelf. Your head was swimming in a panic, but your body was giving in to him as you breathed him in. Come on, sweetheart, have a little fun with me. I'll make it worth your while. I got all night. You let your worries melt away as you let the man you might as well have still been a stranger to you fill you up. So now he's just touching us? We're getting assaulted. Tate was certainly persuasive, you had to admit as you moved your hands against his soft but firm chest, pressing and kneading his ample pecs. I usually like to take things a bit slower than this, but you're just making it too hard for me, NordVPN. I got half a mind to tear into you right now. His voice was so rough in your ear it made you shiver as he nipped at your throat. Your body was screaming for him to go further, but it felt like he was teasing you, testing you more and more with his rough, callous fingertips. What were you doing? You thought as he shoved his hand under your shirt to run scratches down your back. You ran your hands along his thick, muscular arms, your fingers brushing against his deep scars. You could hear his breathing getting rougher as you made your way to his sides, gently squeezing his fats. He was certainly built, but you could feel a soft layer of fat that made him pleasantly squishy to squeeze against. Yeah, he's a bear. Fuck, Shaw. You're driving me insane. Tate bucked his hips against you, grinding himself I'm gonna stop reading at this point. Feel free to read if you're watching this, but I'm just gonna remain a little bit quiet at this point. Your hands continued to wander across Tate's body until you crushed against his ooh, drawing out a low, guttural groan from the man in front of you. God damn, those hands of yours, I could eat them up. So this also occurs. I'm also not gonna read this. Ooh, I'm not gonna read this either. Wait, wait indeed. In a haze, you slowly brought your hand back up. Yeah, he's a butcher. Why the fuck are we so surprised that we touched blood? He is a butcher. Well, ain't that a goddamn mood killer, huh? Leave it to Vic to be a even now. You started to push against him and shove him away from you, but he was solid like a wall. Get off of me! As you wish, sweetheart. He spat the pet name as he said it, something that felt so sweet, feeling rotten and violent to you now as he lifted you up off the aisle before turning you around, your limbs flailing in an attempt to get away from him. He kept a firm grip on your thighs as he held you in the aisle, yanking you closer to him. Oh, ooh, I don't feel right reading this. Well, you weren't supposed to start getting scared until later, but I guess you best start getting scared immediately. Your mind was really in confusion as you stared up at him like a frightened deer, Tate hungrily watching you try to catch your bearings, and realization flooding into you. You better start running, Rabbit. Tate takes a step towards you and your body floods with adrenaline, quickly lifting yourself off of the cold floor and turning on your heel to dash towards the exit. Run, Rabbit, run, ha ha. You can hear Tate laughing maniacally behind you as you search for any means of getting out or even protecting yourself. Suddenly, you remember Vic's stool as you race over to grab it before turning to the door. You swing the stool at the glass door as hard as you can. You raise the stool to swing again, but you feel it roughly get pulled out of your hands from behind you. You ain't gonna get anywhere swinging like that, little bunny. Ooh. Before you can react, you're rolled around after being lifted by the throat by one strong hand. You try to dig your nails into his skin, but your blood-soaked gloves impede any damage that you might have done. It ain't nice to tease a dog with a piece of meat. Guess I'll just have my fun with you some way else. Ain't that right? Oh my goodness. What is about to happen? If this gets too in the direction that I kind of sense that it is, scrapping this whole video. I'm scrapping this whole thing. The hand on your throat continues to tighten as your legs swing helplessly below you. I'm gonna really savor our time together, sweetheart. Go real slow with you. I'm gonna take you apart. Piece by piece. And finally, everything went black. What happened? My head is killing me. Your eyes slowly adjust to the dark room surrounding you. Your head felt like it was spinning as you struggled to recall where you were before this. Can I actually move? You shivered as you looked up at your surroundings. The air around you was freezing, and every breath produced a little steam cloud. You attempted to lift your hands to rub your sore eyes, only to be stuck in place. Looking down, your heart dropped the moment your eyes locked on the tight ropes binding your arms to the old wooden chair, as well as being stripped down to your underwear. Your breathing became erratic as you struggled against your bindings. It was no use. They were already cut into your wrists from how tightly they were tied. Oh, don't yell for help, 'cause I might summon him. That'd be kind of stupid. Let's investigate. Taking in a deep breath, you attempted to calm yourself. Panicking won't get you anywhere in the situation. You need to stay rational. That's right. You were surrounded by what appeared to be beef carcasses strung around the room on dangerous looking meat hooks. Huh? They look awfully frostbitten. They must have been hanging there for a really long time. Then where did all that meat come from? A chill ran up your spine as your mind jumped to the worst of explanations. You shook your head to clear your mind of those thoughts and continued to survey the room. There's a big metal door across the room and a chest freezer next to it. You figured the door was locked, but it wouldn't help right now. Then your eyes lock onto something tucked underneath a line of beef carcasses that made your blood run cold. There appears to be a motherfucker. Oh, that's Vic? Was Vic not blonde? Wasn't he blonde? That looks like a black-haired man. Vic. Oh my god. Vic's body laid bound nearby. You couldn't tell if he was breathing or not, but you can make out the deep red trail of blood that led from his head to the door. You pulled again at your bindings, no longer able to keep your panic down now that you were aware that you were sharing a room with a possible dead body. Suddenly, the sound of the door handle jangling, snapped you to attention, holding your breath as the door slowly creaked open. The sudden change of light burning your eyes as you readjusted. Well. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. Get a good rest, I sure hope so. You gonna need it for what I have in store for you. Tate gestured with the playing cards in his hands as if it were to empathize something, but you weren't sure what before sauntering over to you, slamming the door behind him. Tate stopped just inches away from where you sat, his body looming over you menacingly. I mean, no, we're gonna ask him, like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? That never gets old. You know how many times I've been asked that? This ain't no movie, Shaw. This here real life. Ain't no secret motive or tragic past, honey. I just enjoy doing it, plain and simple. Tate leaned down close and placed his hand on both of your thighs. You didn't want him to touch you, but you were freezing and his warm hand slowly made the numbness go away. We're still in freak mode after everything that happened to us. You can feel his hot breath against your neck, and you can tell he was smelling your hair as his thick lips brushed against you. But do you want to know the biggest reason I do this? He was so close to you now, his body was practically on top of you as he whispered into your ear, nipping at the skin gently between pauses. Well, I'm certainly not gonna read that, but I feel like we kind of could assume that's where it was heading. He slowly pulled away from you as his body heat left you cold and longing for more as he stood to stare down at you. And we still want this man? Tate walked over to where Vic laid on the cold floor. You didn't want to look, but you couldn't help from staring. He noticed you watching and chuckled lightly as if this were a normal situation. Oh, you worried about old Vic NordVPN? Now, realistically, I'm really the fuck not because he was rude as fuck to me. Nah, don't mind him. He ain't dead yet or nothing. See? You winced as Tate crudely kicked the unconscious man in the side, a small groan squeaking out from Vic from the pain, but not enough to wake him from his blunt trauma-induced sleep. He knocked that man clean the fuck out. He's still alive. Haha! Still kicking? I was starting to worry a little, though. I hit him harder than I planned on. Just the heat of the moment, I suppose. Vic's tough one, though. Didn't expect his whole back to be tatted up when I stripped him. Mighty impressed. And don't fret or none. I ain't touched him or you while you were out, but you can't skin a pig in clothes. Tate was bending over down to check Vic's breathing, his sharp teeth visible through his smile. You wanted to hide, to scream, to run, anything, but you were trapped at this man's total mercy. You can only watch as he trailed his dirty fingertips along Vic's back up to the gash on the back of his head before he stood tall again to address you. I like to play with my food a bit, though, so I'll make sure the two of you get to have some fun together. If you want to make it that long. He walked back over to you and knelt down to your eye level. His right hand produced a deck of cards that he expertly shuffled. You were taken aback by how quick and nimble his fingers were, for how thick and callous they looked. So, you gamble? Um, mm, I do in real life. I gamble with things I shouldn't, but I definitely have gambled before. You shakily nodded your head. You weren't sure what he was getting at, but you might as well have answered honestly. Yeah, because you also don't want to make it seem like you're a bitch. There is some intense screaming taking place outside my window. Like, is this whole fucking thing taking place in the apartment building right next to mine? He laughed and clapped his hands against your thighs. You seemed rather pleased with your answer as he shuffled through the cards again. Well, hell yeah. Then you gonna have a blast with this, sweetheart. I'm sure you used to be gambling for what? Money? Trinkets? Well, this is much more fun, you see. I ain't got too much use for money. I got a job for that. I want something else. I want to take some more personal from you. He wants to take our ass. Some we'll remember each other by. Now, don't that sound sweet? I mean, if it was consensual, it would. You didn't have time to register exactly what he was getting at before he was holding up three evenly spaced cards in front of you. The rules are simple. Just pick my favorite card out of these three and you win. Simple as that. Wait, which one is your favorite card? How the fuck are we supposed to know what his favorite card is? You'll never know if you pick it now, won't you? Um, hmm. Being a Libra, I always go for the most balanced of options. So I usually always go for the one in the middle, but I feel like that'd be too much of a giveaway. Oh, they each light up different colors. I mean, his eyes are purple. The left card. Tate looked back and forth from the card to you, his eyes lighting up as he flipped the card around. Okay, so it's an ace. It's an ace of spades. Ace of spades, huh? Oh, that's too bad, Shaw. This ain't my favorite card. What? What? Never been much of an ace guy to predict. He has a fucking ace of spades tattooed on him. What is he talking about? Every wannabe card shake says the ace of spades are their card, but you got that shit tattooed on you though. He got that shit. I mean, to be fair, he has them all tattooed on him, but still. Oh, hey, hey, Shaw, don't look so down and out. It's only the first round. I'll go nice and slow. Ooh, not liking this once again. I'm not liking this. Tate moved closer to you, his hands pressing firmly against your thighs for leverage as he leaned down to hover over your hands. You snapped your eyes shut. You had no idea what he was going to do to you, but you didn't want to see it. You held your breath and waited for the inevitable pain that was surely to come. Instead of pain, you felt something soft and warm grazing your knuckles. You felt your face flush as you slowly opened your eyes to look at Tate. He's dripping! He is dripping! He was slowly running his tongue along each of your fingers until he reached your pinky, taking extra care to lick each joint. The blush painting your face grew deeper as you felt where the man's hands was going, his fingers creeping their way to your inner thigh and squeezing it softly. You knew you should be enjoying this. No, you should not. But you couldn't help but feel the warmth building in your core as he took care to massage your leg. Sucking my fingers, massaging my leg. I'm bound. This is a little too freaky even for me. Tate suckled gently on your digit, his warm, thick lips running back and forth up your finger. You could feel his teeth graze against your knuckle and you shivered. It was starting to feel really good and you wanted to give in to him, even though your mind screamed at you about your situation. His mouth moved lower until almost your entire pinky was inside his mouth. You felt his teeth pushing down a little harder against the knuckle, but your mind was spinning way too fast to process the pressure that was slowly growing. Ah, Tate, that's a little hard. The pleasure quickly shifted to pain and panic as he bent down harder, his teeth grinding against your bone. You screamed and tried to yank your hand out his mouth, only for his teeth to latch on harder until oh shit, he just bit our finger off, bro. He bit our shit off. That's what we get for fucking enjoying this weird ass shit. Your screams echoed off the cold steel surrounding you. Your eyes, your ears were ringing from the pain, and the bile was rising in your throat. Oh, please don't throw up. Please do not throw up. I do not like vomit. Blood, guts, gore, cool. Vomit, bitch. Do not throw up. I will turn this game off so quick. You wanted to pass out to escape the pain, but your body wouldn't let you as you felt your flesh and bones tearing from your hand. You heard your severed finger hit the ground with a bloody splat as Tate spat it out. You didn't want to look at him. Your vision was blurring from the pain and you couldn't regulate your breathing. Haha. Oh, come on. Stop your crying, NordVPN. We ain't even started yet. You could barely register what Tate was saying over the throbbing sound of your own heartbeat in your ears. Every beat sent a shockwave of pain into your missing digit. Time for round two. Be like, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. Okay, well, synonymously, I guess I will not be playing anymore. Okay, that's good to note. So I guess this is the end so far of this game. I genuinely do not know what to say. This was way freakier than I was anticipating. So I have a very open mind in regards to kink. I am someone who is very open-minded in regards to those types of things, even if they could constitute as being very taboo, such as some of the themes in this game right here. I don't want to openly state or label the kinks and the fetishes that are loosely kind of expressed throughout this game, you know. I'm not one to shame or necessarily give much of my opinion on things of that nature. I know some laughs were definitely had and some jokes were told, but this game is definitely allowed to exist, regardless of my personal opinions on some of the kinks that were kind of displayed throughout this game. How I feel about it so far, it does make me a little uncomfortable at times. I will say that. Now, this is a horror congruent game, meaning it is supposed to disturb, it's supposed to make you unsettled, it's supposed to be unnerving, and I feel as though this game executed that very well. I do feel indeed very uncomfortable after this little 1 hour long experience that I had on this game. I'm not sure if this game was ever updated. This game initially came out 3 years ago, as to when I'm recording this video in September of 2025. So I'm not sure if this game was ever updated or if there is a part two. I am kind of scared to see what is going to be in the second part, if there is a second part. So I guess, I mean, that's something that I could definitely look out for in the future of posting to this channel. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about this game personally. I love the art style. I think it's executed very well. It is, like I said, it does a good job of being very unnerving and very disturbing. I just don't being a very kink positive person, I'm just not entirely down with everything in this game. But like I said, that's no disrespect to the game, no disrespect to the fetishes expressed in this game. But I just don't know how I personally feel. But like I said, I don't want to interject too much of my personal feelings onto the game itself. So yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say. Probably gonna edit this down and get this out the same day. This is gonna be a really easy edit. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say, you guys, other than good night and stay freaky.